When we talk about working to get your perfect seam allowance, or which guide to use, or which line to even follow on your throat plate, there's lots of ways that you can do it on the Husqvarna Viking Brilliance 75Q. So first off, on the throat plate, you do see that there are markings in both directions, making it easy for you to line up your fabric and follow along. If you're in the United States and metric isn't your jam, you can visit your Husqvarna Viking store and they will hook you up with a throat plate that has both inches and metric. Now, I've learned a little metric along my way just to kind of help me familiarize, but I've often just taken my little, like a small ruler and measured out, and I've gotten to know like 15 millimeters is 5/8. If I'm working with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to just reach into the machine's accessory box and pull out my 1/4 inch foot. But here is something that I don't think we use enough, is our seam guide. So I'm going to show you how to slide it into the opening behind the foot, and then you can set this to be any distance from the needle that you wish. And look, it's like it becomes like training wheels for your sewing machine. This is good for not just somebody learning to sew, but even for you as you visually need to keep your fabric always going straight. And I know that doesn't sound like that should be a problem, but sewing straight down here is hard. It actually will usually veer, and it's not that the machine is veering, it's just that we don't always keep it consistent. Using a seam guide, a line, or something is going to make it 10 times easier to stay consistent. Have you ever admired quilts that are quilted with like lines that are, say, 2 inches apart, or they're crosshatch, meaning they go this way and then they come back and go this way? We do that perfectly by using a seam guide. All right, so let's show you where you put your seam guide to attach it to your machine. First, you're going to need a screwdriver to loosen the screw from being all the way pushed in. And I do know that once that comes out, it's kind of difficult to put it back in. You might have to work at it to get it to go. But once it's loosened enough, then what you do is you slide your seam guide through it, and then take the time, you measure from your needle to where this is actually sitting. See if that's to the distance you want it to be. And then I would tighten it also with that screwdriver so you don't just bump it and it starts to move. Get it nice and secure. But that's all you do is you just loosen it, slide it in, and then when you're ready to take it out, just loosen it and it can be removed. If it's removed, like I said, I would recommend that you tighten this so it's all the way in and doesn't loosen and you lose a screw. So utilize what came with your machine, whether it's 1/4 inch, and by the way, the 1/4 inch foot can also do 1/8 of an inch if you follow on the inside of that little toe. And once again, if you are more comfortable with inches than metric, you can purchase an Americanized throat plate from your local store. We've got lots of video tutorials on this beautiful Husqvarna Viking Brilliance 75Q. You can find the complete playlist of all the tutorials kind of hanging out together in the description below. I hope you'll check those out and see what you might be missing by not knowing all the parts of your machine.